Welcome into Locked On Phillies. The Phils have won again. They're still red hot, but a really tough pitching matchup against Sandy Alcantara tonight with the Marlins. We'll talk about it on today's Locked On Phillies.
You are Locked On Phillies, your daily Philadelphia Phillies podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey, it's Connor Thomas, your host of Locked On Phillies. Welcome into another episode of Locked On Phillies. I want to thank you for making Locked On Phillies your first listen every day. We're free and available wherever you get your podcasts. And today's episode is brought to you by Blue Nile. Make your moment sparkle with jewelry from BlueNile.com. And going on now is the Blue Nile Anniversary Sale. You can save up to 40% on classic fine jewelry pieces and 25% on engagement ring settings. So shop stress-free and find your forever piece. Go to BlueNile.com today. Thank you, as always, for making Locked On Phillies your first listen every day. We're free and available wherever you get your podcasts. And what a win again last night by the Philadelphia Phillies. It was a long one, a couple of rain delays in this one, and I do think it factored in. Now, the game started in a rain delay. It was a short one. The game was supposed to start 7:05. It started at 7:35 instead, so about a 30-minute rain delay to start. But both starting pitchers did take the mound as normal. You know, sometimes in a rain delay, those starting pitchers will have a mess up in their timing for getting ready, and they'll get scrubbed from the start. Well, that wasn't the case last night because of a minor rain delay, so well handled by Rod Thompson and the Phillies, as well as the Marlins and everything going on there by getting both pitchers ready to go. And we were off. There would be another rain delay a little bit later in the game, right after the seventh inning, I believe, is when, or in the middle of the seventh inning, is when the other rain delay took place. But the Phillies were already in strong command of the game by that point. I want to talk to you a little bit about how the scoring happened in this one, because the Phillies, stop me if you've heard this one before, yeah, they got on the Miami Marlins early, like they did to the Washington Nationals all last series, like they've been doing to teams, and mainly bad teams, all year. And the key to beating bad teams in any sport is you don't let them hang around. If you jump on them early, it really diminishes their feeling that they're going to take advantage of a team that's better than them and hang around and maybe hit a late home run, or in other sports score a late basket, a late goal, a late touchdown, stuff like that. Bury them early so they don't feel that they have a chance when you get to the later innings. Now, it wasn't totally burying them early, but in the first inning, JT Realmuto hit a nice double. Alec Bohm scored on that one, and it was really the benefit of Joey Wendell, who's a local guy. Joey Wendell tried to make it all the way out to right field from second base, where he was set up on the play, to go and field a pop-up by Alec Bohm. It was a routine pop-up. And De La Cruz, the Marlins right fielder, it didn't seem like he said a word. Now, to me, this looks like it's more on De La Cruz because he was camped under it. And it just looked like he never called it. Joey Wendell's body language says that he didn't hear anyone ever call it. And that was the reason he was all the way out there. It looked like a weird place for a second baseman to be. But if you don't hear anything from your right fielder, you don't know what's going on behind you. You're tracking the ball. And sometimes it's hard to check over your shoulder and see what's going on back there. I didn't hear a call. Is the right fielder out there? No, sometimes these guys just, when they have to range a long way, just go after the ball. And it ended up with them dropping the ball with 2 outs in right field on a routine fly ball. Alec Bohm ends up on second base by hustling pretty well, even though it was a routine pop-up. And coming up next, JT Realmuto, well, he doubles down the left field line to make it a 1-0 game. That's taking advantage of mistakes by an opposing team, and it was a wonderful thing for the Philadelphia Phillies. The first, second, third innings were all scoreless for Miami as Zack Wheeler struggled a little bit. He seemed to be laboring, and I'll talk to you a little bit about, I believe, why he was laboring a little bit more than he normally does. Then in the fourth, J.J. Bleday hit a home run to right field. If you saw, his family was out there, and they erupted. It's the first time I've ever seen Marlins fans at Citizens Bank Park, and they were telling the Philadelphia Phillies fans that they were number one and they weren't using their pointer finger. But it was an eruption of celebration out there from right field. A home run by Bleday to cut it to 1-1 in the top of the fourth. And then the Phillies do what great teams do. When the team scores against you, you answer in the bottom or the top of that next inning. In the bottom of the fourth, JT Realmuto came up and absolutely nuked a home run, 409 feet to left field. And then Gene Segura followed it up later in the inning with a home run to left field as well, 396 feet. So not as far as JT's, but it's Gene Segura's first home run since coming back off of the injured list. A huge sequence there to make it 3-1 with those two solo shots. And then in the bottom of the fifth, Alec Bohm singled to center field. Kyle Schwarber, who had hit in a double the at-bat before, scored in the middle of a downpour. And just like that, it's 4-1, and that's where the scoring would end. Let's talk a little bit about Zack Wheeler's performance on the night, because even though he did struggle, he was still good enough to absolutely shut down Miami. Wheeler went 6 innings pitched even. He gave up 5 hits, 1 run, 1 earned. Walked 3, which is slightly uncharacteristic, but struck out 8 and only gave up a home run. You hear that and you're like, it doesn't sound like he struggled. Well, in those 6 innings pitched, and it was tough to get to 6 innings full, had 109 pitches. I'll tell you what I think it is. Pitchers are creatures of habit, right? Zack Wheeler was delayed 30 minutes in his warm-up by the rain, and maybe they anticipated it, but you got to sit down, you got to get back up warm again. There's very, very specific warm-up routines that people go through. Now, when I used to throw, and I was not a major league pitcher by any stretch of the imagination, I'm just telling you from someone who played collegiately how we like to warm up. You'd get loose, throwing like not necessarily long toss, but you'd stretch all the way out. Then you'd come back in and you'd throw a flat ground with the catcher who was catching you that day. So a flat ground is you stand at about 40, 45 feet, just out on the like the left field or right field line, wherever you're playing, and do that. You go in, grab a drink of water. You would go to the pen. You'd work through some stuff lightly. Then you'd throw your warm-up bullpen. Then you'd time that out so that you are ready to walk into the dugout about 2 to 5 minutes before you were to go out on the mound. And then you'd go out on the mound, you'd throw your warm-up pitches on the mound, and then you'd be ready to go. That's a lot that goes into it. And if you warm up in the pen, you get to the dugout about 2 to 5 minutes before when you're supposed to step out on the rubber, on the actual game rubber, and then all of a sudden you're sitting there for 30 minutes, well, your body tenses up a little bit. You're not as warm as you were, and you could try and get hot again. Some guys can do that, and it seemed like Zack Wheeler just had a little bit of a blip in his routine that made him struggle with his command just a little bit. It wasn't anything to be concerned about, and I don't think it's anything to be concerned about going forward, because I do attribute that to the rain delay. But he still had a great performance. Jose Alvarado worked out a bit of a jam. He went 1 inning pitch with a walk, but no hits given up. David Robertson, a perfect inning. Sir Anthony Dominguez, a perfect inning. And the bullpen was awesome. No runs given up, no hits given up by the bullpen in the final 3 innings. Braxton Garrett only went 4 2/3 for the Marlins. Gave up 8 hits, 4 runs. Only 3 of them earned because that first one was unearned due to the drop pop-up. But he was all right, just what I told you. Not as good as Zack Wheeler, and a young pitcher who you could take advantage of. The bullpen was good for Miami too, but it was too little too late. And 4-1, your final score. The Philadelphia Phillies win and move to 61-48, still in second place in the National League wild card race. So that's a beautiful thing. Some of the big performance for the game. Kyle Schwarber went 2 for 4. JT Realmuto was 2 for 4 with a double and a home run, 2 RBIs. He was the catalyst for what was going on in the game. Alec Bohm had that big double, the error that put him on second, and then had an RBI later in the game in the 5th inning, so a nice game for him. But really, the Phils only had 2, 4, 6, 7, 8 hits on the night. They got no hit by the Miami Marlins bullpen. It did kind of feel like the game was over, so they might have been giving away at bats. The rain was tough and everything to deal with. But the Phils will have to be better at the plate tonight when they take on Sandy Alcantara. And we'll talk about that coming up, because that tough stretch of pitchers we talked about on yesterday's episode, well, it's here. It starts tonight. We'll see how they do, and we'll discuss it coming up next on the next segment of Locked On Phillies. All right, we talk a lot about being healthy here on Knocked On Phillies with Built Bar and things like that. Well, did you know the key to sustainable weight loss is through your liver? The liver is the body's metabolic furnace. So what that means, it's responsible for getting rid of all the harmful toxins and igniting your fat-burning metabolism. But most of us have overworked livers. It's easy now, though, to rejuvenate your liver health and reignite your metabolism thanks to Liver Health Formula by Pure Health Research. It contains 8 liver-boosting super nutrients like turmeric, beet, and artichoke extract. They all work together to wake up your liver and get you no more bloated belly, no more uncomfortable digestion. Your liver health is important to your body. I just went to the doctor and made sure that mine was all good to go because that's a very important key to getting waste out of your body and make sure it functioning right. So best of all, Liver Health Formula makes it easier to maintain a healthy body weight long term. And as a listener of our show today, you could try Liver Health Formula risk-free today and get a free bottle of Curb Fit with your order. Curb Fit's a safe and all-natural appetite suppressant, making it easy to say no to bad foods. So it helps you lose weight. It keeps your body in great shape. It keeps your liver healthy. This is exactly what you need if you're having trouble losing weight and you're pointing to bad digestion or anything like that. So you got to go to getliverhelp.com/MLB to learn more. Again, that's getliverhelp.com/MLB to try Liver Health Formula completely risk-free and claim your free bottle of Curb Fit with your order. Go to getliverhelp.com/X to get started. It's time to preview tonight's matchup between the Philadelphia Phillies and the Miami Marlins. Well, really only one guy matters tonight for the Miami Marlins, and it is Sandy Alcantara, who will take the mound for the Fish at Citizens Bank Park. I'll run you through his numbers. We went through them on yesterday's show, but we did it quickly and we didn't jump in as much to the details. So Sandy Alcantara right now has a 10-4 win-loss record with a 1.88 ERA, a 0.93 WHIP, unbelievably good, and 158 and a third innings pitched this year. If the season ended today, he would probably be the National League Cy Young winner. He's only given up 108 hits in 158 innings pitched. That means 50 of those innings were hitless. 141 Ks, so slightly below where he's at for number of innings pitched, but still an incredible amount. He has walked 40 batters this year, so maybe you could get a little bit going that way, but only 8 home runs given up. He's been as good as any pitcher in baseball. But the Phillies have Noah Syndergaard going, who is still a talented enough pitcher to give them a chance. He's 6-8 on the year with a 4.02 ERA, a 1.27 WHIP, in 85 innings pitched even. He's given up 86 hits, so about a hit an inning. That's why his WHIP is 1.27, because you count in the 22 walks, and it's a little bit above one base runner an inning. He struck out 66 batters, and we saw in his opening performance against the Washington Nationals that he is not the strikeout machine that he used to be with the New York Mets. But he's only given up 9 home runs. He keeps the ball in the ballpark. The worry about tonight, if there's one besides facing Sandy Alcantara, is what Noah Syndergaard did last time out on the mound for the Philadelphia Phillies in his first performance in a Philadelphia Phillies uniform. He had an issue with location. He was giving up hits. I think he allowed like 12 hits in the game and 4 runs. It was not great. So it's not looking like it's the most ideal pitching matchup for the Philadelphia Phillies. But hey, maybe Noah Syndergaard has a bounce-back performance. He's settled in with this new team now. He got a little bit of longer rest with the off day on Monday, and he'll be good to go against the Marlins. And really, this is not a talented Marlins lineup. The Phillies should be able to handle them when it comes to pitching and defense-wise. The tough thing is going to be scoring against Alcantara. But the Phillies, well, they beat Alcantara last time that they saw him, and they've actually had somewhat success against him so far this season. I'll read you the Phillies and how they line up tonight. It'll be Kyle Schwarber leading off playing left, Rhys Hoskins playing first, batting second, Alec Boehm batting third, playing third, and a right-handed pitcher on the mound with Alcantara, remember. So JT Realmuto at 4 and Nick Castellanos in right, batting fifth is normal. Then you have lefty Derek Hall designated hitting, Gene Segura playing second, lefty Bryson Stott back in at shortstop after Edmundo Sosa had the start last night, and Brandon Marsh left-handed at the plate playing center field. So 1, 2, 3 lefties, 4 lefties, counting Kyle Schwarber up there at the leadoff. So you'd like to see a little bit of balance, and 4 lefties, 5 righties is a little bit of balance. And the bottom of the order is more lefty heavy. which is good because it means some of those lesser hitters, not that they're all totally lesser hitters, like Gene Segura is batting 7th. He's a great hitter. He's batting 283 on the year. But when your lower hitters have the handedness advantage, that is a good thing for the matchup. So hopefully the Phillies can take advantage of Sandy Alcantara in tonight's game. Let's talk about what the hitters have done career versus Sandy Alcantara that'll be playing for the Phillies. Schwarber's 4 for 16, batting 250. Not bad. The issue is he's K'd 8 times in those 16 at-bats. He has no home runs against Alcantara, even though Alcantara is a righty. Maybe he's due for tonight. Rhys Hoskins is 6 for 31 for a 194 average. He does have a home run and 3 RBIs, but he struck out 12 times. He does not see Alcantara well. Alec Boehm is 2 for 7, which is not bad. It's 286 for the average. It's the second best for guys that have a – well, actually, no, it's not. I misspoke because a lot of these guys have extended amounts of time facing Alcantara because he's in division. But Boehm's 2 for 7, 286. JT Realmuto is 8 for 23 against Sandy Alcantara, even though it's righty on righty. He has a home run. He's batting 348, and he's only K'd 3 times. JT Realmuto, of all the guys in this lineup, probably sees Alcantara the best. Nick Castellanos, who hits the Marlins well in general, is 4 for 12, 333 average. Derek Hall is only 1 for 3. He's seen him once. But Gene Segura is 6 for 18 for 333 average. That's pretty good, too. So you look down the middle of that lineup. Boehm, 286 career. Realmuto, 348 career. Castellanos, 333 career. Derek Hall, 333 career, and only 3 at-bats. Gene Segura, 6 for 18, 333 as well. Then you round it out with Bryson Stott, who's 0 for 9, and Brandon Marsh, who's only faced him 3 times, so he's 0 for his last 3. The good news is Bryson Stott's only struck out once career against him. Brandon Marsh has only struck out once career against him. So maybe they can at least put good at-bats together against Alcantara, even if they're overmatched on the field or at the dish. So the lineup actually looks like it's tailored to handle Alcantara, like they're one of the teams that see him better. The ESPN analytics still gives the Marlins a 54.3% chance to win. That leaves the Phillies with a 45.7% chance to take home a W tonight. It would be their 12th in 13 games. But you look at what's going on as far as where the Phillies are at and how they're swinging it at the plate. They've been hot lately. They could take advantage of Alcantara, and they've got a real opportunity to do so tonight. Syndergaard will have to shut down the Marlins. He'll have to. There's no way he can come out and give up 4 runs like he did last time and expect the Phillies to get a victory. But the Phillies have confidence right now. The Marlins do not. It could be a great opportunity for another win in tonight's ballgame. And if they do, well, the Phillies will continue to climb in the playoff spots, currently sitting in the second wild card spot. I'm just very excited about tonight's game. When you see a great pitcher that you're facing, well, it tells you how legitimate this team is. So we'll watch it. We'll enjoy it. Hopefully it'll be a good win for the Philadelphia Phillies tonight. We're going to see how it all plays out. But coming up, I have a little bit of beef in stepping off. Now, stepping off is, one other thing I didn't want to say, because the analytics on ESPN show that there's a little bit of likelihood that the Marlins win. Well, the analytics from sports books, the Phillies are still money line favorites at most of your sports books. So go check out Bet Online and see if you can throw some money on the Phillies to win tonight if they're favorited. Or I guess you'd want the Marlins if they're plus money and they're favorited by ESPN analytics. But it's a 50-50 shot. Tonight's a coin flip. So, hey, may the better team win, and hopefully tonight that's your Philadelphia Phillies. Coming up and stepping off, though. Stepping off is a segment where we step off the mound, take a deep breath, and step outside the lines of actual baseball competition. Well, there's an opposing broadcaster that stepped in a little bit last night that we have to go after. We'll talk about that on Stepping Off as we wrap up today's Locked On Phillies. All right, today's episode is brought to you by Blue Nile, and I want to tell you more about Blue Nile because it's an important moment for them. This is a big, big part of the year for Blue Nile. Whether you're ready to pop the question or you're celebrating a milestone moment, you can find jewelry as unique as her with the modern convenience of online shopping at BlueNile.com. They've got simple online tools that let you customize your engagement ring by picking the diamond shape, size, clarity, setting style, all that good stuff. If you're looking for fine everyday jewelry to wear instead of engagement rings, well, they have online help assist. You can chat with an expert over the phone or online through an online chat, and they can help you with any budget to find whatever you're looking for jewelry-wise. So it's going to be a great time to check out Blue Nile and make your moment sparkle with jewelry from BlueNile.com, because the Blue Nile anniversary sale is going on right now. You can save up to 40% on classic fine jewelry and 25% on engagement ring settings, plus every order is insured, ships free, and arrives in discreet packaging that won't give away what's inside. So shop stress-free and find your forever piece. Go to BlueNile.com today. All right, let's wrap up with a little bit of stepping off. Stepping off is the segment where we, like I said, step off the mound, take a deep breath, and step outside the realms of the lines of baseball. It's baseball adjacent, so it'll be stuff like things happening front office, stuff that's happening at the ballpark, things like that. That's what stepping off is, to break up the week. We normally do it on Wednesday or the middle show of the week to just break up the game recaps and everything with a fun little segment. And this one will be fun for Phillies fans, but not fun for one Keith Hernandez. So last night during the Mets broadcast, Mets great Keith Hernandez, who does the TV broadcast for the New York Mets. Now, keep in mind, the Mets were not playing the Phillies. The Phillies were playing the Miami Marlins. But Keith Hernandez has some time off coming up this week where he'll be in St. Louis for the anniversary of the 1982 World Championship team for the Cardinals, of which he was a part of. And then he's also got the next Phillies series off because of a weekend scheduled off. And he claims that he went to the front office of the TV broadcast, not the Mets' actual front office, and said how much he hates doing Phillies games because the Phillies defense is never quite up to it. They don't play fundamentally well. He doesn't enjoy watching them. He said he hates doing Phillies games. Dude, first off, when was the last time the Mets won a World Series? When was the last time you guys got a ring? Because last time I checked, I think it was like 83 or something. Yeah, get out of here, dude. Like, get so far gone, Keith Hernandez, because this is just the most ridiculous criticism of the team. Stop being such a hater. Stop worrying about Philadelphia all the time. Maybe focus on your team that collapses every year instead of worrying about the quality of our defense. Have the Phillies made the playoffs for the last decade? No, they haven't. And part of that is an issue with the defense, but you're an announcer. Be professional. Be a guy that shows up and does his work. You think Mets players take off because they don't like the way the Phillies play the game? Show up and announce and keep Philadelphia out of your mouth, because you have enough problems up there in New York to worry about with that team. And yeah, they're talented this year. They're going to collapse again. Everybody knows it, and you're going to get made fun of around baseball. So don't try and turn this like the Phillies are the laughing stock. The Phillies have a ring in 2008. The Phillies went to back-to-back World Series in 08, 09. The Phillies were one of the best teams in the history of baseball in 2010, even though they fell short in the playoffs. And yeah, we're getting back to it now, so you better watch out because the Phils are coming. And the fact that Keith Hernandez thinks he has the right to say that he hates announcing Phillies games that he's getting paid to do because their quality of defense isn't up to a standard, go shoot another episode of Seinfeld. Get out of here. I don't like – I'm so tired of people taking pot shots at Philly for no reason just because they can get a reaction out of us. And I guess I'm giving him that reaction, or giving the national media the reaction they expect when they take a shot at Philadelphia. But yeah, Keith, why don't you focus on announcing Mets games? Leave the announcing Phillies games to our staff down here. And if you're man enough, show up and do your job when they play the Philadelphia Phillies and see how we handle things this time around. That's how I feel about the Keith Hernandez comments. And it was an unnecessary shot at the Philadelphia Phillies from a guy who doesn't have any leg to stand on when it comes to what his team does year in and year out and collapses. But by all means, keep doing your spring training World Series celebrations up there with the New York Mets. And maybe one year it'll turn into something. I'm not holding my breath, and you shouldn't either. And Elaine Bennis was too good for you on Seinfeld. I had to add that last little bit in there. But go check out the Keith Hernandez comments if you haven't seen them. Just annoying, and had to defend Philly a little bit there. But that's all my time for today's Locked On Phillies. Just a short stepping off there to get that off my chest. Thank you for making Locked On Phillies your first listen every day. Now make your second listen Locked On MLB. Paul Francis Sully, he's awesome. He knows baseball inside and out. Covers the game coast to coast, all the teams, all the big storylines. It's available on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. So check out Locked On MLB. And thank you for listening today to Locked On Phillies. Make sure you subscribe, rate, review, throw a like wherever you get your podcast. Throw a comment on the YouTube or the podcast reviews. It's very helpful to me to make sure I'm doing things as best as I can for you. And with that, I will talk to you hopefully after another Phillies win tomorrow.